Hello students, welcome back to Florence Academy. Academic writing task 1, time 15 to 20 minutes and word count 150 words minimum. So today I'll be telling you how to do a flow chart. As you can see the diagram, logs are made from trees by chopping it down and then they are sent to a chopping machine, or it can be directly purchased with, these steps can be skipped, and the purchased chips, whether it's done manually or whether it's done ourselves or whether it is purchased, both go to a digester from where the pulp is formed. Then it goes to a washer from where the pulp it moves into a pulp screen, and then the clean pulp has two purposes. So as you can see in the flow chart, this is a diagram of how paper is made from trees. Okay. The clean pulp, there are two purposes or there are two uses of the clean pulp. One, it can be made for paper boxes, and the second one, paper rolls for daily use, the paper which we write. So in academic task 1, you're not supposed to add any details of your own or any reasoning. You are simply supposed to write a report. The first purpose, pulp former goes into the pulp dryer, and then from there to a pulp reel, pulp cutter, and then finally to boxes, pulp paper bales they have written here. The second purpose, after the pulp, clean pulp again moves into pulp cleaner for further cleaning, then to the pulp dryer, pulp presses, then paper presses, paper dryers, and then finally to paper rolls. So in a flow chart, in a flow diagram, you're not supposed to skip any step because every step is important. And at the same time, you should take care of your word count. It should not go above 200. 160 to 180 words would be ideal. So let's start our flow chart. This is the question. The diagram shows how paper is made from trees. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. The first paragraph, as I always say in writing task 1, is your paraphrase. So instead of diagram, if it's given diagram in the question, you can make it picture. Or you can say flow chart. Shows can be depicts. How paper is made from trees? The procedure or the steps involved. Procedure of manufacturing paper from trees. So I think that's about it in your introduction. You don't have to write anything more. And your intro is done. Moving on to the second paragraph, which is your overview, and it will start with overall. What is your overall? From the diagram, it's very clear that the paper making process involves two purposes. One is making boxes and one is making paper rolls. So the whole process or the procedure involves two purposes. Okay, and there are numerous steps involved in the entire process. Maybe that is your overview. I don't think we can write any other overview. Overall paragraph is simply your first observation or the most significant data. Overall, it is inferred from the diagram, you can say, or inferred, okay, simply inferred that the paper making process, So here I've written procedure. So I'm changing the word to process here. Try not to repeat the same word in consecutive paragraphs. Involves two purposes and numerous steps. You can either, it's not easy to write the number of steps in each because we don't want to give any kind of data that in paper boxes it requires these many steps, or paper rolls it requires these many steps. This itself is enough that the paper making process involves two purposes and numerous steps. Okay, so our overview is also done. Now let's go to the first procedure, that is your BP1, body paragraph 1 or your third paragraph. So what can you say? Initially, from here we have to start. So in this task, you will have 5 paragraphs because this purpose, the purposes of the paper making should be written in 2 paragraphs. The paper boxes in one and the paper rolls in the other. So overall, you will have 5 paragraphs in this task. It's very rare to have 5 paragraphs in task 1. Usually it's 4. Okay, what can you say initially? What happens? The trees, the logs are made from trees and then again it is sent to the machine. Okay, so this is the process. This is going to be this full thing before the clean pulp needs the purposes. Before that, whatever is happening is going to be my body paragraph 1. Initially, the trees are chopped down into logs. Try and combine the procedures as much as possible using relative pronouns like where, from which, these kind of words, so that we don't have to write too many sentences and also we can make complex sentences. Initially, the trees are chopped down into logs which are sent to a chipping machine, right? This is like because chips are formed from this wheel. Chipping machine. Okay, now either these chips, wood chips. Okay, maybe I can write here wood chips. Or the ones purchased from the market. That is ready-made chips. Are converted. What is the next step? Converted into pulp, right? Yes, converted into pulp by a digester. So instead of saying these chips are put into the digester and then from the digester we get the pulp, I've combined it. It's converted, so directly the chips are converted into pulp by a digester. Okay. Now the pulp undergoes washing, I think, through the washer. Undergoes washing in a washer. And then through a pulp screen, right? Yes. Then moves through a pulp screen. The clean pulp is used for two purposes. Okay. Okay, I can write the end product. No need, maybe. No need to add on the words. The clean pulp is used for two purposes. Okay. So that is the end of my third paragraph, as you can see, or my body paragraph 1. Now I'm going to write about the first purpose in the body paragraph 2 and the last purpose, the second purpose in body paragraph 3. Okay. Now my fourth paragraph is going to be, let me just look at the chart. Okay, what happens? The first purpose. Okay, now third paragraph is over. We are starting the fourth paragraph or the body paragraph 2. Body paragraph 2 is all about how to make boxes. So the first purpose is to make. So let's start with the connector, the first purpose. Maybe that will be a good idea because examiner, as soon as he sees that first purpose, understands that the paragraph is all about making boxes. So the first purpose is to make paper boxes. Okay, so that is going to be my body paragraph 2, and I'm going to explain from which the clean pulp, for which the clean pulp goes into the pulp former and then later into a pulp dryer, from where pulp reels are made, and then the pulp reels are cut in a cutter, and the bales are made out of it. Okay, it's a very simple process. I mean, to write, it's a simple process. So let me write the first just change the font. Okay. The first purpose is to make paper boxes, for which the clean pulp goes into a pulp former. And later into a pulp dryer. Again, I'm combining the sentences from which, oh, pulp, there's a spelling mistake. From which I'm just going back to the diagram, 1 second. Pulp dryer, from where pulp reels are made, right? The pulp reels are cut by a cutter. Okay. In a cutter and bales are made of it. Paper bales are made out of it. Very simple. Flow chart is very simple to write. That is the end of my fourth paragraph or body paragraph 2. Now I'm going to write about the second purpose. And I'm going to start with the connector second purpose so that it's obvious from the first sentence itself that the paragraph is all about the second purpose. Second purpose is to make paper rolls for which the clean pulp has to again go through the clean pulp cleaner. Here that process is, step is not there. Clean pulp directly goes to the pulp former, but here it again has to go through a pulp cleaner. So we might as well mention that step. The second purpose is to make paper rolls for which the clean pulp again goes into pulp cleaner cleaners it's written. Oh, okay. So might as well write that. Maybe there's another cleaner inside the main cleaner. Don't change anything on your own. So if it's cleaners in the diagram, might as well write that. Again goes into, then I have to stop this A here. I have to remove the A. Pulp cleaners, dryers. Is it plural here? Yes, it's dryers, presses. Oh, okay. So goes into pulp cleaners, dryers, and from there to pulp presses. Paper presses are made from pulp presses. See, as you can see in the diagram, pulp presses and then paper presses. So paper presses are made from pulp presses. And then it again goes to paper dryers. This was pulp dryers. Second one is paper dryers. Okay, so I'm going to write another way which is dried in. Instead of saying it moves into the pulp dryer, I'm going to write which is dried. And then in a paper dryer, right? Second one is paper dryer. Okay. Paper dryers and rolled as the final product. So that is the end of 170 words. Okay. So I've